Dustin, really good to see you. Today, we are talking through 5 quick tips for young investors. It's so hard to picture our lives 40 to 50 years into the future. There are so many reasons young adults put off saving for retirement. So, what should be step number one for any young adult who's now graduated and working?
Yeah, I think there are two big steps somebody wants to take to get started. But the first one is, hey, pay yourself first. Young people in particular, when we were all there, we think we're going to live forever, and there's never as much time as we think there is. Keep in mind that every dollar that passes through your hands, every dollar you earn over the course of your lifetime, it has to take care of two people. It's got to take care of you today, and it's got to take care of the future you when you're either too old, too tired, too sick to work, right? So it's really important to get started early. And we've all been told that compound interest is an amazingly powerful force. That's true, but it takes a long time to work. So, we can take a look at an example.
Thank you, Dustin. Sorry.
We got no problem. We got two investors in this example. One of those investors starts saving really diligent at age 25, saves $5,000 a year for the first 10 years of her career, and she never saves another thing after that. The second investor starts saving it at age 35, 10 years later, and saves for the next the next 30 years of his career. Okay, so she saves 50,000, he saves 150,000, but she ends up at age 65 with almost $800,000. He never catches her.
That's
Okay,
crazy.
so yeah, cannot overstate the importance of starting early. The lesson is, as soon as you can, right away, get started saving something.
That's why they call compound interest the eighth wonder of the world, right?
Right.
It is incredible to look at it. So next, you suggest protect your largest asset. What is your largest asset when you're young?
Yeah, most people don't recognize this. Okay, but the largest asset somebody has when they're young, it's not your home, it's not your 401k, it's not your bank accounts, it's your human capital or your ability to earn a living, earn a paycheck. And I think you had another visual here. So when somebody starts out early in life, they typically have very little financial assets. But if we add up all the paychecks they're going to earn over their life, that human capital is very high. And as we get older, there's less years we're going to be able to work. Our human capital declines year by year. Hopefully, we're replacing that with the financial capital that will take care of us later in life. But just as an example as to what an enormous asset that human capital can be, the median household income in the U.S. right now is right around $70,000. Well, if somebody had the ability to earn $70,000 a year for a 40-year career with modest raises, that's about $5 million they're going to earn over their career. So you could be looking at a 25-year-old employee or a 25-year-old household, and they've got a $5 million asset in their human capital. You have to protect that. Okay. And there are two major things that can interrupt that ability to earn a living. The first is disability. So you want to make sure when you start your career, you get disability insurance in place. The second thing is a premature death. Okay. And this is going to seem counterintuitive, but hey, you're young, you start your career, even if you're not married, even if you don't have a family, I would say you want to consider getting a large term life insurance policy, because that coverage is going to be a foundational piece of any proper financial plan. And at that age, you can typically get a large policy for less than the cost of a dinner out each month.
Really good advice there. And of course, as you prove with compound interest, it's important to start investing early and often. But when starting out, it's also a great time to open a Roth account. Explain why.
Yeah. So in particular, right now, we want to keep in mind that tax rates are historically low, first of all. Okay. So that already tips the scale that we might want to consider paying taxes on the seed rather than the harvest. And what I mean by that is a Roth IRA, for example, as opposed to a traditional IRA, we're not putting pre-tax money in that account, but on the back end in retirement, when we take money out of that account, typically all that money, including the earnings, comes out entirely tax-free. The account grows tax-free over your career. Okay. So the other reason why a young person wants to consider opening a Roth IRA, especially in the beginning of their career, is because typically that's nowhere near your peak earnings. Okay.
Right.
No reason to get to worry about trying to get a tax deduction right now, only to take that money out of that account later on in life when you may be in a higher tax rate. Uh,
Hmm.
Now, as you approach the end of your career during your peak earning years, if you've saved on a tax-free basis up to that point, it might be the point to consider, if you're facing high tax rates, to start tax sheltering some money in tax deferred accounts at that point.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh,
Interesting.
but you really want to consider tax-free accounts early on in your career, especially
Hmm.
in an environment where we've got such low tax rates right now
Hmm.
historically.
Hmm. And tip number 4, take advantage of the 401k match, or as my dad says, don't leave free money on the table.
You got it right. So even before you would open something like a Roth IRA, you first want to make sure that you're participating in your 401k up to the match.
Hmm.
Okay. Very simple. If you don't do that, you're leaving free money on the table, and there's a huge opportunity cost that comes with that. So participate up to the match. Once you're participating up to the match, if you want to, participate in a plan outside of that employer plan, fund a Roth IRA, that's great. And I'll add right here, um, remember, many employers right now will allow you the choice to participate in your 401k on a pre-tax basis in a traditional 401k, or a Roth 401k on a
Right.
tax-free basis.
Hmm.
Okay. So if you're young, taxes aren't a big problem yet, not in your peak earning years, consider participating in the Roth 401k.
Hmm. Hmm. And last, fund your future lifestyle, finance your current lifestyle. What does that mean exactly?
This is a very simple one, but a very profound one. Okay. What I mean by that is, a lot of people, especially early in their career, again, we think we're going to live forever. We think we got plenty of time for everything. A lot of
Hmm.
people will focus on becoming debt free, or trying to pay cash for all their major purchases before they fund their retirement, or before they set aside enough for their retirement. Well, there's one reason why you want to fully fund your future lifestyle, your retirement, and if need be, finance your current lifestyle. And that undeniable reason is because you cannot do the opposite.
Right.
While you're young, while you're earning a paycheck, you can finance the cars you need to drive and the home you need to live in. But if you don't fully fund your retirement, and you get to the point where you're too old, too tired, too sick to work, if that retirement's not fully funded, you can't, at that point, having paid cash for all your cars in your house, you can't now borrow the money you need to live on in retirement.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
fund your future lifestyle, finance your current lifestyle.
Dustin, it is so helpful to talk through these steps. I feel like this should be required watching for every 20-year-old. At least I wish I had watched it in my 20s. If somebody has questions about anything we've covered, what's the best way to reach you?
They can send me a text at 830-476-2505, or reach out on the website to book a free chat at longlivemymoney.com.
All right. Dustin, thank you.
Thanks, Erin.